Hello, Shandong!
他们现在他们通常。
So this tablet is very clean. So
Hello everyone, we are at Shandong University at the Center of Research of Traditional Chinese Culture. I'm with Yusuf right now. We've been around the museum. How do you feel so far?
Hello, actually I feel really good. The amount of the things we have learned in this program is actually astonishing. For example, we are standing in the front of the tab which shows basically the basic information about what we have been learning here. It's all about the history of the China and main things about its culture, the Confucius itself. For example, not to mention all the clothing and the things I have on myself. For example, this one, it's one of the traditional Chinese clothing which have a huge variety, and this one refers to a specific era of it. Not to mention also the competitions and the fun activities they have provided here for us at the Shandong University, where we were practicing some main aspects and the practice at the Confucianism.
Hello, Shandong!
with the future for 10th generation.
Hello everybody, my name is Alex. I'm a second year at Global College. Today we're at Confucius' temple, and there has been a lot of interesting architectural elements here that have been fascinating. For example, there's things called the crouching beasts at the ridges of the temples and all the buildings here. And basically, the more they are, the more important the building is. So one of the biggest temple halls here has 9 beasts, and that is basically the maximum that there can be, unless you're in the Forbidden City in Beijing, where there's 10. So that was very interesting. And also, there's this mythological beast called the Bixi, which is the 6th son of the dragon, and he basically represents everlasting wisdom. And so essentially, the emperor's words are shown on his back, and he's a sign of strength as well. And there's a tablet that is weighing 650 tons, which is insane. And basically, since it's the emperor's words, it had to be transported from Beijing. And so we were wondering, how could it have been transported from Beijing all the way to here? Well, essentially, it was a marvel of engineering. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, they figured out how to do it. And as an engineering student myself, it was actually very interesting to hear about.
Hello everyone, I'm Emil from Global College. We are at Confucius Temple. In this temple, we learned about the Confucius culture and all his learnings, like how he taught the horse riding, the calligraphy, the archery, and then we learned to respect our teachers, to respect the world itself. We learned about all the 5 elements, the fire, earth, the metal, all of the elements. And then we passed through all the gates here in the temple, and in each gate we learned one lesson from Confucius. It seems like Confucius passes his culture and all the learnings through all these years. It feels like he's still alive with us.
Hello everyone, I'm Sophia. I'm a 4th year studying in GC, and today we're at the last day of our Shandong tour here in Confucius' temple. It is the biggest and oldest temple of Confucius, and it's just beside his house. So Confucius is the most famous teacher in Chinese history with over 3,000 disciples. And today we went with a guide here, and there's a lot of interesting elements we've learned. For example, one teaching was, I guess in Chinese it's 己所不欲，勿施于人, which in English is do not do unto others what you don't want others to do to you. And I think this is very similar to what we learned in the West. So it's interesting to see that it's also seen here in China. We also saw a ceremony here, which I believe that the students of Confucius went in front of his temple, which is called the Temple of Grand Perfection, and they recited the teachings in front of a statue of Confucius. Actually, that's also another interesting story, because in the past, they actually did not have a statue. It was only a little, I guess, sign there to mark Confucius, because they didn't want Confucius to look like an idol. They just wanted him to be respected.
Hello everybody, my name is Aldrin and today we're at the Confucius Temple, and this Shandong trip has been very amazing for me. We get to visit Shandong University and learn more about Confucius through their classes and courses, and then after that day we went to climb Taishan, and it was one of a very beautiful place. It's one of the few great mountains in China, I believe 1 in 5. And we went all the way to the top and we took some incredible pictures, saw incredible scenery. And then today we're at Qufu and we're able to see the performance that was shown in the Confucius Temple and how his disciples were acting like in previous years, in ancient times.
To be a good scholar.